Hello book lovers and welcome to Book Talk Radio Club. My name is Claire Perkins and today I'm talking to author Diane Nighswonger. Diane recently published her children's book, The Lucienne Saga. At first, little Ellie despairs that the outer world of men has no magic like her fairy magic. But through Godmother's telling of the 5 stories, she learns the outer world of men has something even better. And that is, well, let's find out, shall we? Hi Diane, first of all, welcome and thank you for coming on Book Talk Radio Club.
Thank you so much, Claire. It is truly my pleasure.
Oh, thank you. The Lucienne Saga is in fact 5 separate stories. Why 5 separate stories rather than one continuous story?
When I was little and I couldn't sleep, my mom would say, tell yourself a story. And I would, creating a tale with a happy ending so that I wouldn't have any nightmares. The first tale of the Lucienne Saga comes from my favorite story, the one that I told myself night after night. And sometimes I would make the story more dangerous or maybe funnier, but always with me as the heroine being successful and finding my happy ending.
That's lovely. Why is the book called The Lucienne Saga? What or who is Lucienne?
You know, I always had that name in mind, and it's a character, it's a French name that means light, and it fit how I wanted to portray the hero. So when I kind of caught on that all my characters' names had meanings, I started researching them, and that's how Alea in the 4th story got her name. It means joy.
Godmother asks Ellie, the smallest of flower fairies, will you tell me a tale of the magic from the outer world of men, one with kings who dance and the girls who enchant them? Why is Ellie so interested in the outer world of men?
Yeah, I've loved fairy tales all my life. And when my first grandchild was born, I reread Grimm's fairy tales and was kind of shocked by how gruesome those tales could be.
Yeah, they're dark. They're definitely dark.
I wanted my grandchildren to have simple, happy, original stories to read and not just those retellings of the same tales. Now, my first 3 tales, which were actually just short stories, were already written, but I needed the framing story. So I came up with the idea of the fairy godmother telling these tales to the little flower fairies to start their day. So instead of bedtime stories. And then as I imagined that fairy world, the work of the fairies uses magic to put color and scent into flowers and to help emerging butterflies dry their wings. It was really fun inventing that world. But magic is all that little Ellie knows. So the fairy godmother uses her morning tales of the outer world of men to teach her little morals. Grimm's fairy tales always have a moral. Don't judge a book by its cover, which is Beauty and the Beast. Don't talk to strangers, which is Little Red Riding Hood, or good obedient girls are rewarded, like the Cinderella story. And I wanted my original tales to have a worthwhile message too, although I kept the magic totally out of the world of men. So Ellie is confused by the outer world of men and not being able to understand how a world can be beautiful and wonderful without magic. My 5 tales teach her how beautiful our world is and hopefully remind the reader of it.
What age group? Oh, sorry, I'm reading the wrong question. At first, little Ellie despairs that the outer world of men has no magic like her fairy magic, but through Godmother's telling of the 5 stories, she learns the outer world of men has something even better. And that is, so, I mean, I think you've just told me that. Can you give us a hint without ruining the book of what that is? What is the number one thing that makes the outer world of men even better?
Well, it's each tale increases the lesson, and by the end of the 5th tale, Ellie's no longer confused, and she knows what kind of magic we have. And in the 3rd tale, I even explain the difference between happiness and joy. So there's kind of a special message there for the reader.
You have very, very lucky grandchildren. I hope they know that.
Thank you.
What age group is the book written for?
Okay, it's for middle grade, which is considered like 8 or 9-year-olds, clear up to 12 to 13-year-olds.
Right. So you.
But I hope.
Sorry.
I hope adults enjoy it too.
You have 3 grandchildren. What do they think of their grandma's book?
Okay, my grandson, the 9-year-old, said it was mind-blowing.
Oh, bless
And
him.
my granddaughter, who is 7, said it was amazing, and she's only read the first story because she's still, a little young for it. But they were both at my book launch, and when I read a 4-minute excerpt from the first tale, my granddaughter read the fairy's lines, and she was wearing fairy wings, of course.
Of course.
And that was a special part of that book launch. And then my 3rd grandchild, whose name is Elle, which is French, is just 2 months old. So I look forward to reading her my stories when she's older.
You say on your website, the tales I am writing are simple stories designed to entertain, to impart a good message, and perhaps to enchant a little. What message are you imparting in these stories then?
I'm trying to not hide messages, but incorporate things such as kindness, helping others, overcoming grave obstacles can be possible without magic. And then by the end of the 5th tale, the reader will know what kind of magic our world really does have.
The illustrations in the Lucian Saga are beautiful. Did you illustrate the book, or did you hire someone to do them for you?
No, I have no artistic ability, and my publisher, Patricia Landy of Crystal Publishing, she matched me up with Tawny Schuler, who's from Taos, New Mexico, and created those beautiful pictures.
They are. They're really beautiful to look at. This isn't your first children's book, though, is it? You self-published a book about your father-in-law and your mother-in-law as children in rural Wyoming. I love the reason behind it. Would you like to tell the listeners?
Yes, please. My father-in-law, Tom, was in the first stages of Alzheimer's, and my grandson, that's now 9, was just learning to read. We found these amazing black and white pictures of Tom as a child in the 1940s, and his sister told me stories that matched those pictures. I created a beginner reading book so that his great-grandchildren would know and be able to read about their Grandpa Tom. The family liked that so well that I wrote the second book about my mother-in-law.
Oh.
And we have a video of the youngest grandson reading the book to Grandpa Tom. And when Tom saw the picture of his first dog, he remembered it. And it brought tears to his eyes and to all of us.
I bet it's bringing tears to my eyes now, just thinking about it. You taught English, French and journalism for 30 years, and now you've reinvented yourself as a children's author. How easy was it for you to adjust to the change?
It was a very big change, but I started right away working 3 days a week in a boutique, and retail is an immense learning curve. It's fun, and it's been an incredible blessing. I have developed relationships with the most amazing people, from customers to other people working downtown. With Torrington, Wyoming being on the route from Denver, Colorado to the Black Hills in South Dakota, we have tours coming through our town weekly, and I've met people from all over the world. And so when I'm not working at the store, then I'm trying to write the next book.
I understand that the Lucian Saga has been picked as a finalist in the CIPA Evie Awards. That's wonderful. Can you tell me what these awards are all about, Diane?
Thank you. It's CIPA is Colorado Independent Publishers Association, and they host these awards and have for 26 years to provide critical recognition and credibility to independent authors. They receive entries from all over the world, and they have a rigorous judging criteria. The Evie Awards are open to all types of independently published books. My publisher, Patricia Landy, submitted my book, The Lucian Saga.
Oh, that's brilliant. When will you hear?
I know I'm a finalist, so the announcement is the middle of August.
Oh, right. So not long to wait now, then.
No.
Oh, well, I'll keep my fingers crossed for you.
Thank you.
What's next for Diane Nighswonger?
I will continue working in the boutique, spending as much time as possible with family, especially those grandkids.
I bet.
And I have started writing the second book.
Oh.
I don't have an official title yet, so right now I'm just calling it Lady Lucia.
And where can readers purchase the Lucienne Saga?
Okay, on Amazon, Barnes & Noble, Lulu, Ingram Sparks, Smashwords, Kobo, and at the Farm Girls Boutique in Torrington, Wyoming, where I work. And there I can sign the book and personalize it.
That's wonderful. All right, well, thank you, Diane. Please come back on Book Talk Radio Club when you publish your next book. I'd love to chat with you and hear more. In the meantime, good luck for the future, and thank you, everyone, for listening to Book Talk Radio Club. Thank you very much, Diane.
Thank you, Claire.
Bye now.